Hey y'all, welcome to PJs and Mugs. This is story time with Jessica. It's all good. Hey y'all, welcome to PJs and Mugs. It's me, your host, Jessica. It's all good. And let's get into some fun story time. So first we have this mug. Isn't this really cute? You see the little mug on the mug that says cafe. Action Community Yells. YELLS, yells. That is actually a community program for kids that I've had the chance of working with things like acting classes, modeling classes, and more. So I was given this. Did I DJ for them once? I can't remember, but I was given this mug as one of the gifts for being a presenter and working with the kids and as a facilitator that year. So Yells, shout out to all the work you do with the kids. Shout out to all the kids that graduated from Yells and all the cool things you've accomplished in your life. I know you babies have gone far. Now, since that is a program that deals with like teenagers and middle schoolers and such, I think elementary too. Yeah, it would only be appropriate for me to tell a story from my childhood. Now, 2 weeks ago, I was like, ooh, I should talk about crushes. I have a fun 7th grade crush story. But then I realized, oh, it's Mother's Day. Sorry, I had to do a Mother's Day story. But don't worry, here we are, back to that 7th grade situation. First of all, if you didn't know, I wrote a book called The Cure. I'm sorry, my cats are above me making creepy noises, and I have to remind myself. I'm like, oh wait, because that was creepy. I was like, ooh, what? Oh, cats. I have cats. Okay, so what was I saying? 7th grade. Okay, I wrote a book called The Cure for Stage Fright. In reading this book, you'll find that there are some very interesting and unique situations that caused me to choose to become an actress and later turns comedian, improv, MC, DJ, all those things. And it is amazing how having a crush on someone can affect your life and future, because that's exactly what happened to me. Now, this story is mapped out in my book, so if you do get it and you read this particular story, then you're going to totally hear my voice, because I've heard Jessica reading this book is like hearing your voice. I'm like, what? So let me tell this story, like I guess the shortened version or the longer version or whatever, and you'll see how a crush can help change your life. When I was in 7th grade in middle school was just really hard for me. I got picked on a lot. I was considered the ugly girl. And because of that, I wasn't as outspoken as the person you see today, because I was just trying to like fade in the background and just not be noticed. But y'all, when I tell you, you can only hide in the background, but for so long. And so when I was in 7th grade, one of my teachers, I think it was like an English or lit teacher. These cats want me to come back upstairs. I'm coming, babies. Give me a second. I'm working. So my teacher gave us this project to do a sock puppet show. Now, even though I was quiet and didn't have a lot of friends, something about that triggered something inside of me. I was like, a what? A sock puppet show? Instantly, I got excited. I was writing a script. I was coming up with ideas. I took my 2 friends in the class. I'm like, you're going to be in my play, and you're going to have these 2 puppets. You're going to have these 2 puppets where we made our sock puppets, and I'm going to have mine. One was purple, one was pink. Now, y'all, I don't remember what these puppets said, but one of them definitely went, ah! And something about that made the class roar. The class loved my writing. They thought the play was so funny that when it was over, they all stood up and clapped. You know, I don't know if they stood up. I don't think middle schoolers would have known to do that. But it was a major applause. Like all the other sock puppet shows, they were like whack. But mine was so good. Kids were complimenting me all throughout class. Like, that was awesome. That was great. And I thought that was where it was over. Until later in the hallway, kids were walking by like, yo, Jessica, I heard about your sock puppet show. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks. Even one of my teachers, we had this teacher, our science teacher was like the hot guy. I didn't believe in thinking a teacher was hot, But all the girls thought he was hot, and they made it very clear. So when the hot teacher came to me like, "Hey, Jessica, I heard about your sock puppet show," you can see all the other girls with envy like, "What?" And I'm like, "Ew, he's a grown-up. But thanks, coach. I appreciate it." And now I'm just like, okay, I'm feeling myself a little bit. I'm getting all these compliments. I'm hearing this awesome feedback. Cool. I felt like I had done something. But it didn't click until later that day when we were walking in the hallway, my friends and I. And my crush was in a room by himself. Y'all, when I say this was the prettiest boy in 7th grade, his name was Sean. He had these gorgeous bright brown eyes that, like, when he blinked, it was like slow motion. Like the sun would like come out like a halo behind his head. Rainbows would like shoot out of his eyes and birds would sing. He was so hot. He did not notice me. Like, I did not exist to Sean. But that day, when we were walking by a room he was in by himself, my friends were like, "Hey, Jessica, there's Sean. I dare you to wave at him." And I was like, oh, I don't know where this boost of confidence came from, but I was like, "Oh, honey, I won't only wave at him. I'll walk up to him and I'll say, 'Hey.'" My friend's like, "Oh, snap, she's gonna say hey." So I did exactly that. I walked into the classroom. I stepped up to Sean. I said, "Hey, Sean." And then Sean said, "Hey, Jessica, I heard about your sock puppet show." Ah! Oh my God. He heard about my sock puppet. He heard about my, what? I couldn't believe it. Of course, I had to like be like cool. So I was like, "Oh, okay, thanks." But inside, I was losing it. Oh, I can't believe Sean, the most beautiful Sean heard about my sock puppet show. This is crazy. I realized if all of 7th grade and my teachers and my crush all are talking about my show, I've entertained 7th grade. I was the talk of the town that day. If I could entertain 7th grade, I could entertain the world. Which most people would probably be like, 7th grade, then okay, let's try 8th grade, then let's try high school. I went from 7th grade to the world. Now, after that, I will say that Sean never spoke to me after that. He went back to not knowing I existed. But that's not the point, my dear. My life was changed by a sock puppet show, and I was inspired after my crush made it clear to me that he knew that I existed for like 5 minutes. Who knows what can change in your life just because of a simple crush? Just because they don't end up in your life forever doesn't mean they can't have some kind of impact. So shout out to all our crushes, okay? Whether you get to tell them or you never tell them, or you tell them and it's like horrible rejection, or you tell them and you're like married now, I don't know. But to all the crushes of the world, here's to you. Making the world better or worse. I don't know. Heck, I'm a comedian now, so I win. Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching and listening to the story. If you want to learn more about that story or any of my other stories that affected my my ability to get on stage, speak in front of folks, and get over stage fright, then go ahead and head to my website and check out jessicaitsallgood.com. Go to the book page for The Cure for Stage Fright. I highly recommend ordering it on Barnes & Noble, but that's just me. There's a link for Barnes & Noble. Fun surprises coming up with that book later this year, so stay tuned. If you're not following, join my mailing list. There's information on the contact page of my website, and follow me at Jessica It's All Good, including here on YouTube. That's right. Click to subscribe. I think I'm supposed to point on some, whatever. Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. You all give me reason to come sit in my spiderweb filled basement and act like I'm not in a basement. Thank you for watching, and cheers, y'all. Bye.